Today I'm sharing 10 declutter habits that have transformed my home, which I have implemented over the last 5 years as a way to keep our home clutter-free. If you like videos on simple living, decluttering, and cleaning, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Are we actually using items in our home? This is something that I always ask myself as I'm going through my home on a daily basis. I look at an item and I think, are we actually using it? Not just will we use it or have we used it in the past, but are we currently using it enough to keep the item in our home, have it take space up in our home, and have to care for that item and find a place for it. And this is just one way to get rid of more things, is to think about, are we actually using it and are we using it enough to keep it? Setting limits on what we keep has helped me to stay clutter-free. This will transform your home if you're having a really hard time letting things go. Is just decide how much of a certain item you're going to keep. This works really great with kids' toys. I've found it works great with my own sentimental items. I will just pick a certain size box, and once that box is full, that is it. I'm not going to keep any more. I might have to reevaluate what I'm keeping in the box, get rid of some things if more things come in, but once I've set the limit, that is that, and I don't let much more come in because I really want to stay clutter-free and I don't want to have too much stuff to constantly deal with. I have incorporated decluttering regularly into my everyday routines. So for instance, when I'm putting away my son's clothes, if I see a few things that he no longer fits into or things that he's no longer wearing, I just grab them right away and add them to my pile of things to declutter. I think that I can finally declutter the carrier. We just have not used this in a really long time. This applies to my own things as well. So for instance, this box of stuff here I had sitting in my office and I thought, why am I continuing to look at this? I just pulled it out, went through it, decided what I needed to keep, what I wanted to get rid of, and I put those items away. And same with my husband's clothes. We're trying to come up with a regular schedule, maybe once or twice a year, to go through everything and just get rid of the things he no longer needs. Then we have the just in case items. Here is my office closet, and I have these things in here that are kind of just in case items. One is my husband's suit from our wedding, which he does wear once in a while, so I will keep this. But the other things I'm not sure about, so I'm going to pull them out and go through them. I'm currently reorganizing this whole entire office so I can fit my husband and I in here to work together, and this closet has to be way more functional. Another thing that I'm going to get rid of out of here is the sewing machine box. I've relocated my sewing machine to a shelf in the closet, and this is going to go along with some canvases that I'm probably never going to use, and I feel like now's the time to really clear out these things that are just in case items. I know what's in all of these, but I've been holding on to them and thinking I might wear them, but I haven't worn them in a really long time. Yes, okay, I can confidently say this was my outfit I would wear when I went on job interviews, so I don't need this anymore. Plus there's no way this would ever fit. And then here are 3 different fancy dresses that I did wear in the past to different events, but I can confidently say that none of these fit, and if I ever do need a fancy dress, I will just go get it at that moment. I have some more coats. This one is a raincoat, which is actually something that comes in handy. I have worn this in the last year or two, so I am going to put this with my coats. But this one is, again, a fancier thing that I would wear when I would go out, which I rarely do anymore, and plus I know that this will not fit. Last time I wore this, I was probably 20 pounds lighter, so this won't fit. So I'm gonna get rid of this and all these dresses. This is a really good reason why I need to remember to continue to revisit different areas in my house and really dig deep and look for things, because I had just been overlooking this. I didn't really need the space, but now that I do, I've just found all these items very quickly and easily. As I'm putting my clothes away or changing things around for the season, I always gather things immediately when I know I don't want them anymore and put them into the declutter pile because I don't want to wait for a certain day to declutter. I was able to find 4 things: the dress, this sweater that I recently saw myself in a video and I just hated the way I looked in it. Also, it's a very odd material, so don't like that. Here is a shirt that I bought out of desperation when nothing fit about a year and a half ago, so that's gonna go. And here's a sweater that I really liked, but I just feel like it's a little too big on me now, and also it's just not something I see myself wearing. I have other ones that I would prefer. So these 4 are gonna go. Go through the same area over and over again. I learned this through the last 5 years of keeping my home clutter-free, that I will declutter a certain area of my home, and then maybe 2 or 3 months later, I will go through that same area again, and I always find more items that can be decluttered. This decluttering habit helps a lot in storage areas. I've found that it helped a lot in our hall closet as well as our garage. We decided to start decluttering and organizing our garage last year, and I initially went through one area and did the best I could, and then came back a few weeks later, and my mom and I decided to tackle this as a fun project together. We went through the entire garage, but we didn't do it all in one day. We took a few weeks' time and we went through, and then we went through again, and we found more and more things to declutter, and we came up with a system to organize everything. I have all of these habits written out in a blog post with more information, as well as all of the information on how we organized and decluttered this garage in a blog post. So I will link all of that down below in case you're interested in checking that out. But this is how it looked after we were done decluttering and organizing this garage. And of course, there's some upkeep, but it turned out just amazing. And then if you notice, I have these bins down here. Those are donation boxes. I normally donate things right away, but I've been saving them because I do the what I decluttered this month, and I just put everything there so I can discuss it with you guys. Each season, as I refresh my home or change around the clothes that we're wearing, seasonal things come and go, or we decorate differently for each season. And every time I do that, I go through to see what I no longer need. And here I'm going through my boys' off-season clothing and putting it away once I'm done going through that. But finding things every time we change things around. Welcome to the floor. I have my 2 Christmas bins here. This is where I store everything, and what you're seeing left in here are some of the decorations we didn't use, plus all the things that we wrap the ornaments and things with. So what I want to do is just look through here and see if there are some things that I don't want anymore. I declutter our Christmas decor every year after I'm done using it and putting it away, and I always find more. Even though I didn't really find anything to donate, I did find all this stuff that I'm going to trash, so I'm still decluttering, and I'll recycle what I can, obviously. As I'm digging in a little deeper, I'm getting a little more ruthless. I'm deciding to get rid of these 3 little trees, even though we used them this year. I don't know, I'm over these. Deal with incoming stuff right away. This has been a true game changer with keeping us clutter-free because we always have things coming into our home. It could be just the groceries that we're buying. It could be things from my kids' school, mail that comes in every day. And I try to deal with everything that comes in immediately, deciding, are we going to keep it? Can it go? A lot of the time, my boys want to keep stuff that they quickly get over, so we go through it regularly. Sometimes I go through it with them. Sometimes I find the things that I know they're not using and get rid of it myself. But I just always try to deal with things right away, and I don't let it linger for too long because then it can become part of the background of your home and then you don't notice it. So even when my boys get home from school, I try to deal with their backpack stuff right away. We go through it, deal with what we need to do, sign papers, and then I've even come up with an area for them to put their things, hang their backpacks, their sweatshirts, their hats, and just everything that needs to get put away. Finding a place for everything helps us to stay organized, but more than anything, it helps us to stay clutter-free because when I go shopping or before I go online to buy something new, I think about where would I put this item? How is this going to work in our home and where will it live? And 9 times out of 10, I don't buy the item because I think, you know what? We are good. We have plenty of stuff, and I don't really want to have an extra piece of decor that I have to store somewhere or I have to find a place for. And that helps me to stay clutter-free because it makes me think twice before purchasing more things and bringing more things into our home. By having a place for everything, I also will think if I really do want something new or different, I will have to think about what item I would get rid of that the new item would replace. And that again makes me think twice before I go and purchase anything new to bring into our home, which again just helps us to stay clutter-free and also helps us to save a lot of money. I have blog posts on all of these topics, on how we have stopped buying certain things to save money, on how we stay organized, clutter-free, and I will link all of those down below. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button to join my channel and become part of my community. I will leave some videos up here so you can continue watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!